see the first experience with the Peppol network, which was also new to us, of course, because the whole of domestic Belgium is starting sending and receiving electronic invoices in the Peppol format. So we initially did not know how the system would hold, but it seems to be working quite well. What we do see and hear in the market is that there are some invoices delayed, so it's processed properly, but it's not being received by the recipient, by the customer. That leads sometimes to frustration because the customer needs this invoice. There are special agreements made and they cannot pay it because they did not receive it. They have to do their tax declaration at the end of January. If they have not received the invoice, then they cannot do that. So that is leading to frustration. What we also see is that there are a number of companies trying to send an invoice to a customer that is not present on the Peppol network yet. And that is not going to fly. You need to have a Peppol registration before an invoice can be delivered to the customer. That can be fixed, of course, but that is what we now hear and see in the market that is actually frustrating people, leading to questions, is this the right solution? I'm sure it will be all fixed. That is what we now see post-go live in Belgium. Anna, what did you hear in the market?
I've also seen in several cases the information included in the Peppol UBL is not always sufficient. In certain cases, certain types of Peppol setup are not always enabling companies to share the information that their customers need to be able to process invoices. Now, we're sometimes talking about quite basic information like a product EAN code that's not included within the Peppol UBL. Also, a certain data is not always transmitted to the recipient by their Peppol provider, and this then causes delays in invoice processing and again frustration because companies of course want to facilitate their customers, and if their customers are now complaining that the invoices received don't require mandatory information, well, that is somewhat problematic. We try to find solutions for those who approach us to help them resolve these problems. But as Fred was saying, it's the beginning. Things will certainly fall into place and companies will maybe adjust their initial approach when needed to ensure they do meet their requirements towards the future.